Welcome back to Scholars Universal Secondary School online class JS2 Basic Science. For our last class, we discussed reflection of light majorly. We talked about specular reflection of the water body. We talked about types of objects that give light, the luminous and the non-luminous objects. The luminous object which gives out its own light, while the non-luminous object which reflects the light of another object. And we also talked about rays of light. We talked about types of beam, the convergent, the divergent, and the parallel beam. The convergent beam, which light rays meet at a point, the divergent, the leave light rays leave a point source, while parallel beam straight light rays that are parallel to each other. I've also talked about nature of substances, the opaque, the transparent, and the translucent objects. The opaque object that does not allow light rays to pass through it, while transparent allows light rays to pass through it, while the translucent allows the light rays to pass through it but cannot be seen clearly. We also talked about light moving in a straight line, that is the rectilinear propagation of light. We also talked about laws of reflection, that is the when the angle of incidence equals to the angle of reflection. We talked about curved mirrors, etc. But today we are going to continue from where we stopped. Our topic for today is refraction. Last class we discussed reflection, but today we are dealing with refraction. Refraction is the bending of a wave as it crosses the boundary between two media of different densities. Look at the image here, the diagram here. There are two different densities here, that is the air and the water. This object inside it looks broken because of refraction. When light crosses the two boundaries of different densities, the light will bend. So the bending of the light rays makes the pencil here broken. Explanation of refraction. The light ray bends towards the normal and to the boundary between the two media as it passes from a less medium to a denser medium. Examples of mediums through which light can pass are water, air, and glass. If a ray of light strikes a glass medium, that is movement of light from air to glass, that's from less dense to a denser medium, the light will move towards the normal. But if it cannot move from a denser medium to a less dense, that is if it moves from glass to air, it will bend away from the normal. The last one we talked about, if it's moving from less dense to denser medium, it will move towards the normal. But now if it's moving away from denser medium to less dense, it will move away from normal. The angle of refraction is the angle between the refracted ray and the normal. The angle of incidence is the angle between the incident ray and the normal. Now this is a diagrammatic illustration of refraction. Look at the incident ray here. It is the incident angle is just the angle between the incident ray and the normal. But if you look at this air, now it's moving to glass block. You notice that the refracted ray is moving towards the normal. But if this refracted ray now is moving back to air, you notice that it is refracted away from the normal. So it just tries to show us that if light moves from less dense to dense medium to a denser medium, it will move towards the normal. But if it's moving from denser medium to a less dense medium, it will move away from the normal. Now laws of refraction. There are two laws of refraction. These are the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. If you remember the second law of reflection that we talked about in our last class, it says that the incident ray, the reflected ray, and normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. But this one, the difference there is just the refracted ray that is inserted here. That is the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same place. The second law says the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the ratio of the angle of refraction is constant for any two medium. That is, the ratio of that sine I over sine R is always constant for any two medium. That is, the ratio of the angle, the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is constant for any two medium. The law, that second law of refraction that we said there is just Snell's law, which is sine I over sine R equals to n, where n is a constant for a given pair of medium, that is for any two medium. The constant n is known as the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. Now, refraction of light in lenses. A lens is any transparent material with two faces, of which at least one curved. That is, a lens is just a transparent material with two faces that maybe a part is curved, the other part is not curved, or both parts are curved. There are only two kinds of lenses given by the nature of their faces, namely convex lens, which is a converging lens, while concave lens, which is a diverging lens. Now we are going to talk on convex lens. Convex lens, this lens makes a parallel beam of light to converge at a point called focal point after refraction. Now we know convex lens is also called converging lens, and when we last class that we talked about converging beam, this is where the parallel beam of light meet at a particular point, and that point is called the focal point. This one I now talk about convex lens. What makes the beam of light to converge is a convex lens. So this lens makes a parallel beam of light to converge at a point called focal point after refraction. Such lenses are thicker at the middle than at the edges. The defect called convex lens can be used to correct the convex lens can be used to correct the defect of the eye called long-sightedness. That's hypermetropia. We use convex lens to correct the eye defect hypermetropia. Long-sightedness occurs when the eyeball is too short and one is able to see distant objects clearly but not near objects. Hence, such a person has a lot of difficulty when reading. That is, the person can only see distant objects, that's far objects, than objects close to his eyes, and short than objects near objects because of the eyeball is too short. And this eye defect is called hypermetropia and it can be corrected using a convex lens, that is a converging lens. Now, a concave lens. Concave lenses are also called diverging lenses. This lens makes a parallel beam of light to appear to diverge from a point. We talked about a diverging beam in our last class. This is a beam of light that leaves a common point and it diverges. Now, a concave lens is also called a diverging lens. Such lenses are thicker at the edges than at the center. It allows rays of light to diverge after refraction. The concave lens can be used to correct an eye defect called short-sightedness, myopia. Now, short-sightedness occurs when one cannot see far objects clearly but can see near objects clearly. That is, when the person can see objects closer to his eyes than objects far from his eyes, then the person is short-sighted. Then this defect can be corrected using a concave lens, that is a diverging lens. Now, this is the image of the convex lens. If you look at it, it is thick at the middle and it is thin at the edges, while a concave lens is thin at the middle and is thick at the edges. Now, some instruments uses lens. The camera, projector, microscopes, they all use lens. The camera, the projector, the microscope, they all application of lenses. Now we're moving on to real and apparent depth. Real depth of an object in water is the actual distance of that object between the surface of the water. That is, for example, if you put a stone inside the water, the stone will appear closer than it is in the water. The depth of the stone normally is called the real depth, but the depth that appears closer is called the apparent depth. Now apparent depth of an object is the supposed or deceptive depth that the object appears to have due to refraction of light. That is the first depth that the object appears to have due to refraction of light. Look at the image here. This is the box normally, but due to refraction, the box appears nearer to the eyes than it is. This is just due to the refraction of light from air to water. If you look at the new image formed, the distance from the water is called the apparent depth, while the actual depth is the distance from the water to the where the box is, the point of the box. Now apparent bending of a stick. This this is the real stick, but due to refraction, the stick will look bent. Now dangers of apparent depth to swimmers. Swimmers have been deceived about the actual depth of pools. Many people have drowned because they did not realize that the pool in which they wanted to swim was actually deeper than what they observed from above. An observ an observation from the top of a swimming pool makes the water to appear shallow. Most times the water is deeper than it appears to be, and this has posed a lot of dangers to many sailors. Such occurrences confuses sailors on seas and oceans. Now look at the sailor here. This is where the chest is normally, but because of refraction, the image will this is the apparent image man is seeing, but this is the real image. It will look closer than it is actually. Like chest appears higher in the water than it actually is. So these are dangers of refraction. Now how images are formed in the human eyes. The human eye has a lens and a retina on which are images formed. The images formed are located on the retina. For a person to see an object, light energy must enter the eyes. Light enters the eyes through the pupil, which is a black hole in the central of the iris. The iris is the coloured part of the eye which adjusts and controls the amount of light that enters the eye. Now the human eye contains a lens and a retina. The lens will help to focus images on the retina. So for a person to see, light energy must enter the eye. Light enters the eye through the pupil, which is a black hole on the centre of the iris. But the iris helps to control the amount of light that enters the eyes. Light rays reflect of the object and into the eye, where they are refracted by the cornea and focused by the lens on the retina. Since the cornea refracts the light rays from the object, while the lens will help to focus the object on the retina. The optic nerve then carries the message to the brain and image is formed. The retina at the back receives light energy from the exterior environment. This is more like the reception of radio waves by an antenna. The activated optic nerves transmit electrical signals or messages to the brain which interprets them to produce an image. So after the image has been formed on the retina, the optical nerve will carry it to the brain. Then the brain will produce the image. Images formed on the retina are upside down, but the brain flips them back to produce a perfect image. So just know that the images formed on the retina are always inverted. but the brain flips them back to produce the perfect picture. Now this is the human eyes. Look at the pupil is here, the black spot which is on the iris. This iris here will control the amount of light entering the eyes. Now this is the lens. It helps to focus the images of the retina while the cornea here refracts the images. Now images are inverted by the time they reach the back of the eyes, as the images formed on the retina are always inverted. Now we're moving on to dispersion of white light. Dispersion is the separation of white light into its component colors of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Dispersion shows refraction of light. Dispersion is due to the fact that the different colors of light travel at different speeds through the glass. Each color is therefore refracted in a slightly different direction through the glass. All the colors spread out to form a spectrum. Red is least deviated and violet is the most deviated. Red appears first on the spectrum while violet appears last. The arrangement of the colors can be remembered with Rugby. Now dispersion is just the separation of white light into its component colors, that is the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Now to remember this, just use the acronym Rugby. While dispersion shows refraction of light, dispersion this is a phenomenon under refraction. Dispersion is due to the fact that the different colors of light travel at different speeds through the glass. Each color is therefore refracted in a slightly different direction through the glass. All the colors spread out to form light spectrum. While red is least deviated, red is the first color to be seen on the spectrum, while violet is the most deviated. That is, violet is the last color. Look at the image here. Red first color, it is least deviated. If you look at violet down here, violet is the most deviated. Red is seen first, while violet is last. We said earlier, refraction, dispersion is just separation of white light into its component colors, as is seen here by a glass prism. Now, the rainbow. The rainbow is formed from a combination of reflection and refraction. It is made up of 7 colors and appears as an arc or half circle. White light from the sun is dispersed by drops of water which act as glass prisms. The colors of the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. It is a natural spectrum of light. Now, rainbow is formed by the dispersion of white light by the rainbows. Here, rainbows they act as glass prisms. Now, the colors of the rainbow are the same as colors dispersed by white light in a glass prism. That's red wave. It is a natural spectrum of light. Thanks for watching. You can follow us on the MG online as scholarsuniversalschool.com. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Now questions kind of practice with. How many colors are there in the visible spectrum of light? The correct arrangement of colors in the visible spectrum is the instrument used to correct myopia is a dash. The separation of white light into a band of colors as it passes through a triangular prism is called A dispersion, B reflection, C spectrum, D refraction, E prism box. Next question, what is reflection? State the laws of reflection. What is refraction? Name the types of lenses. What is dispersion? Give 2 examples of luminous objects. How many colors does white light have? What is rectilinear propagation of light? What is a beam of light? Thanks for watching.